Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Sim World 6 video. It's been a bit since I've done one of these due to me thinking my computer was broken. But, however, it was just a Wi-Fi card, so I've isolated it from the system so it no longer causes system freezes. And I've got a new Wi-Fi card on the way. However, my computer is still perfectly fine to record things, so today we are on the Medway Valley line by Firefly Simulations. I didn't pick this one up at launch, but now I have picked it up now that the audio issues with the 375 have finally been fixed, which were mainly afflicting PlayStation 5 anyway. And yeah, during the time when I thought my computer was broken and I wasn't recording anything, I've been blasting up and down this line and been having an absolute ball, and it's one of my favorite routes in the game now. So basically what you get is 13 miles of updated Southeastern high speed from Gravesend to Rainham via Strood, 26 miles of new track from Strood down to Paddock Wood, which comprises the Medway Valley line, and then a short, like 5-mile-ish section of track from Paddock Wood to Tonbridge, which is part of the Southeastern main line. So, quite a varied rail scene. I do have one complaint about this route, though. Despite it being quite good, there isn't really much stock that comes with this route. The only stock that you get with the route is the Class 375, specifically in two new versions which we hadn't had in the game before, the Stroke 3 and the Stroke 6. The original version with the Stroke was the Stroke 9 and came with Southeastern high speed. However, that means in the default route you can basically only do the Strood to Paddock Wood and also Strood to Tonbridge services, and you basically cannot use most of the updated section of Southeastern high speed. You have to have Southeastern high speed in order for stock like the Class 395 to show up. But other than that, that's pretty much my only complaint. Like, this route is basically, as I'm going to just say it, this route is basically as close as you can get to modern British operations in any train simulator, like, genuinely. Yeah, of course, this route comes with a number of notable features. The skybox, as you can see, is different. The lighting and on the assets that are in the game, in this route, is very different. It's somewhat, I would say it's a lot less colorful, which I'm fine with, because the normal TSW lighting is very, very overexposed and vivid normally, and this makes it look a bit more realistic. We've also got working traffic lights, where you can go press the button at these little pedestrian crossings. I don't think it does anything, but still, I believe these traffic lights here actually do work and that affects the traffic. The 375 has a plethora of new features. It has a working toilet. Yes, really, you can press the flush button and it works, and you can access the toilet too. There is a guards panel with a working CCTV camera, though that does really affect your computer's performance. You can release the cab door realistically using the handles. As per real life, you can attach a track maintenance camera here, which is essential to one of the scenarios, but you can just attach it in timetable mode if you want to. There's a working GSMR radio. Yeah, and there's a ton of more stuff. And there's a full manual that Firefly Simulations have. I recommend you go look it up, because the amount of new stuff in this route is insane, and I've been having an absolute ball on this line. Also, proper announcements too, with like, this train is not stopping here, see it, say it, sorted, and that kind of thing. Anyway, enough waffle from me. Let's get moving. One thing which I've also noticed on this route is the performance. This route is incredibly well optimized. So what signal are we standing at? We're standing at November Kilo 487. There go the announcements. So we have to hit the register button. Our service is 2 Tango 16 Strood to Tonbridge. Services only go from Strood all the way to Tonbridge during peak times. Normally they just terminate at Paddock Wood. So we go 2 Tango and then wait for it to go, and then 1, 6, and then 4, 8, 7, and then hit accept, and that should register it. Oh, I also want to do one other thing. Once the GSMR finishes doing its thing, we also haven't got safeties on yet. I know. Oh, and I should have the DRA on since we are at a red signal. All right, so if we hit starting to get signal, the GSMR should. Nope, wrong way. There we go. Oh. It doesn't do the voice line. I believe the voice line... The GSMR does do voice lines when you're in scenarios, which is pretty cool. Previously, the only working GSMR in the game was the working GSMR on the German stuff, specifically on the Expert 101 and Expert 145, both by trains from Germany. Yeah, also another thing about... I think I was talking about this earlier. One thing about this insane about this is the performance. It's much more, you can tell it's a lot more well optimized than Southeastern high speed. And it, like, genuinely, it's a rock solid 60 FPS, even on my pretty bad older machine, if I'm being honest. Just have to wait to lock the doors. Oh, it takes longer because it's simulated guard operation. Buzz it back and speed. Oh, I'll let you roll down the window so you can appreciate the true beauty of the brand new Acela 165 sound pack. There's also new third rail sparks, which are a bit hard to catch, but yeah, they're pretty cool. So yeah, maybe we'll see them as we cross over onto this new track. You get a spark? No, you're not gonna spark, are you? Anyway. Yeah, 15-mile-an-hour limit coming out of Strood. New track joint sounds, new motor sounds. This entire sound pack for the 375 is brand new. And despite the older Armstrong Powerhouse sound pack on the 375 and 377 being quite decent, it doesn't hold a candle to the utter superbness of this sound pack. Oh, hello. There's one of the Cargo Line 1 aviation fuel services. So yeah. The if you're not a fan of the Cargo Line packs, unfortunately, basically all the freight services rely on Cargo Line 1 petroleum and Cargo Line Volume 2 aggregates. Yeah. Might show you the working guards panel if we get time at Suxton. So we get time. So we're starting off at Strood. We're stopping at Suxton, Holing, Snodland, my personal favourite station name on the route. New Hythe, Aylesford, Maidstone Barracks, Maidstone West, East Farleigh, Wateringbury, Yalding, Beltring, Paddock Wood, and Tonbridge. So yeah, as I said, this service is a peak time, so it goes all the way through to Tonbridge. Most non-peak time services terminate at Paddock Wood at the Bay platform. Yeah, there's also a ton of custom assets. You can also hear rail singing as well. If you horn. Yeah, so we do have some Train Sim World news that dropped literally just before I started recording this video. There's the High Speed 1, which you can drive in between Ebbsfleet and Ashford, where you can drive, which you can drive on Southeastern High Speed, and there's AI services, I believe. Alright, let's start slowing down gently. So yeah, don't believe we'll see an AI service on there unless we're incredibly lucky, because those javelins are really quick. Nice track joint sounds. Yeah, this whole sound pack is amazing. Like, I could... That's honest. Oh, I'll keep the windows open until we stop, and then I'll put them up, because I do want to hear the internal announcements. What is that? Is that a javelin? Yes, it is. Yeah. A along with the release of this route, a bunch of the all of the old Southeastern high-speed stock got a big update, including dynamic suspension 2, and also guard mode on the class 465, I believe. Let's put the windows up so we can hear the announcements.
Welcome aboard this Southeastern service to Tonbridge.
Oh.
Calling at Horling.
So, yeah.
Snodland, New Hythe, Aylesford, Maidstone Barracks.
Okay, so here's the new guards panel.
West,
If we unlock that,
East Farley, Wateringbury,
turn that
Yalding,
on.
Beltring,
Look at that!
Rockwood,
Actual
and
working
Tonbridge.
CCTV. That's... Oh. I forgot that shuts the local door. Oopsie. Yeah. Taking the driver's key out shuts the door. Oopsie. Did not mean to do that. Yeah, we might check out the toilet at some point further along the journey, but yeah. We have places to be. Oh, that's the wrong door. I need to... Bit finicky. Just click spot. No, I need that door. Oh, come on. Oh, for goodness sake. And that's the cab door release. Some of the stuff is gated behind expert mode, just saying. A lot of the GSMR will be the normal, you turn it on and it just works, TSW GSMR. Here's the interior box signal of the interior of the signal box, sorry. I know I went a bit before the signal buzzer, but I did wait quite a long time before we were scheduled to go. Also, one other cool thing about this route is the number of boats on the Medway River actually change per season as well. There's also 2 DHL branded logistics facilities. That's actually thanks to TrainSim Germany, who managed to procure a DHL license for their Expert BR145 DLC.
The next station is Horling.
Yeah. The only really big complaint which I've seen about this route is from the PC players of this line, because a lot of PC players use .ini file changes in order to like force stuff to render further away and stop stutters and things like that. Unfortunately, because this route makes changes to the way the game renders itself, unlike every single other route in this game, unfortunately, .ini file changes will literally break this route and cause it to crash. So, before playing this route, you have to remove your custom .ini file and use the stock game one, which I'm fine with because the game runs fine on my machine. And this route runs fine on my machine, I mean, and it still looks perfectly fine, so... Okay. Stopping at Horling. Do like the sounds of the 375. Oh, man. Absolutely amazing. May I just say, this is probably one of the best sound packs we have in this game. For any unit, genuinely. Because, like, oh my word, it's just so good! Like, I liked the Itsia, like, Itsia165 has done a bunch of sound packs as mods for the game in the past. Like, I used the Class 385 sound mod on Edinburgh Glasgow because... Let's be honest, the default sounds on the Class 385 are not the best. Rivet Games did a poor job, so yeah. Itsia165 has absolutely blown his old work out of the water with this. So yeah. And also, I forgot to mention earlier, but Firefly Simulations is actually composed of a bunch of former PC modders. So like Bescot, Charlie, Itsia165, Fox, a bunch of well-known names from the PC modding community have actually contributed to this route, which is very cool. And the fact that they've produced such an absolute gem of a route for their first go. Keep forgetting for the guard to do the buzzer. So yeah, listen to that! Wow! The horn has a really good Doppler effect too. It's like much louder on the front of the train. So like from back here, it's pretty quiet. From the front, it's much louder. I'm trying to angle the camera so you can get some good sounds. Yeah, like, oh my gosh. Like, I've never really been a fan of the Electrostar family in general. In real life, I've only really ridden on the Class 387 by GWER. I personally think it's they're decent units, they're just incredibly boring. But, honestly, oh man, this route is just, this route is just nuts. Like, it's fine. I think it's finally made me appreciate how good the 375 actually is. Yeah. And I'm glad they updated a bit of Southeastern high speed, which it's nice that they did update a bit of Southeastern high speed, so we could do a lot more services than otherwise. We could drive the Thameslink services, which don't come down this line. There are a few like nighttime trial runs where the Class 700 does come down Medway, which is quite interesting. Oh, I should also show you the Snodland station sign. There's a 375. Are you the stroke 6? You're the stroke 3. So yeah, here's the Snodland station sign. Very nice. Also, Snodland has to be one of my favorite station names I've ever come across. It's just it's very funny. Yeah. I think we came in a bit too slow. Hopefully we can get... Oh, I think we might overshoot a bit. Stop! Also, oh yeah, toilet.
Welcome aboard.
Zoom in toward the back. Is there a toilet in the... Wait a minute. Is there a toilet in this version?
Yalding,
there is.
Beltring, Paddock
Door
Wood,
open.
and
This door
Tonbridge.
retracts itself. You can move the handrail. You can close the door for maximum privacy. You can sit on the toilet. And yeah, once you've done your business, you get up and you flush the toilet and it makes a sound. How cool is that? Like, yeah. I've been following the flight simulation community for a while. This might not seem pertinent, but it will in a minute. I've been following the flight simulation community for a while now, and an add-on plane is always better if it has a working toilet. Like, there are a few planes in the flight sim community which do have working toilets. Something like the Unibuild's A350 by Airbus, which spring to mind, or the iFly 737 Max. And like the flight sim community has been doing it for a decent while now, but now we finally have a train in Trainsim World. Ooh, there's an orange spark and then there was a blue spark. Those are both types of third rail sparks. I'm glad we caught that on camera. Yeah. So, hang on. I can't... It's not letting me... The game's not letting me recenter my camera. Yeah. Whenever I press the recenter button, it just doesn't do it. What the heck? Oh. Is that... Okay. Maybe I'll just try and position the camera where I think it's about centered. We do have a 60 limit coming up, so we gotta be careful. So yeah, I do apologize. Normally I like to keep the camera centered, but for some reason it stopped letting me to do that. I'm pressing the recenter button and it's just not letting me do that. Very interesting. Also, another thing about this route is there is a very interesting mastery reward on this route, which I honestly is probably my favorite mastery layer after Blackpool Pleasure Beach Station on Blackpool branches. So basically, there's a little bit of a story behind the mastery layer for this route. Back in the 1980s, I think it was a JGV, a little coal hopper wagon, was parked at the was parked in a siding at Maidstone West, I believe it was. Yeah, Maidstone West. And it was, due to a clerical error, it was abandoned there for the next few decades. And it's still there today, and it's now stranded because it can't get out. The bit of track that's leading up to it was demolished. So it's just stuck there. But since it's like a little wooden hopper wagon, it's been converted into a little garden because it's basically just a giant flower pot, and that's actually represented in-game. Unfortunately, we won't see that today because I haven't gotten it yet because it takes a while. I've been trying to get the masteries on my favorite routes in this game for a while now, but it's been a hard slog doing it on Medway. Because yeah, you do have to drive quite a while before it gives you it. So let's do an exterior shot, why don't we? Next up, Aylesford. Those sounds. One interesting thing about this route is the 375. I also forgot to mention this earlier. The 375/9 with the newer headlight clusters from Southeastern High Speed doesn't layer onto this route, despite other stock from Southeastern High Speed layering on. And then the stroke 3 and stroke 6 from this route don't layer onto Southeastern High Speed, which is very weird. I don't know why that is. Ooh, you can hear See It, Say It sorted. Yeah, everyone loves to hate the See It, Say It sorted announcements. Ooh, there's one of the DHL facilities. Very nice. Officially branded, that is. Very nice. There's also a do have TPWS on, so I probably want to start slowing down. Also, I have got one patch active that adds Great British Rail freight branding onto the building, into a building at Tonbridge West Yard. And I actually, all of the mods that I use are listed in the description. Oh boy. Oh wow, we have to park right next to that signal. That is somewhat terrifying. And it immediately turns green, so I didn't even have to put the DRA on. Also, another thing about this route, I keep remembering things to mention, so I do apologize. Nice station building. Oh, hello. Are you? Yeah, you're cutting through the footbridge. Yeah, I'm not surprised. What was I thinking? Oh yeah, the scenarios on this route are actually some of the scenarios are actually significantly shorter than other scenarios, because I've heard of scenarios which could like go up to like 2 hours or something, but two of the 5 scenarios that come with this route are only 15 minutes long each, and it's actually really nice to have something like quick to do. Oh, I should have shut the doors earlier. Oops. Yeah. It's nice to have a working GSMR because, to be honest, it should have been implemented ages ago, because if you think about a lot of, like, say, old Armstrong Powerhouse add-ons from Train Simulator Classic, you could put in the head code. That's been like a staple feature of AP products for years at this point. And the fact that it hasn't been implemented till now in Train Sim World is pretty damning of Dovetail Games, I gotta say. The fact that Medway, a team of PC modders who on their first effort managed to blast Dovetail's former efforts out of the water is pretty indicting of the entire organization at Dovetail. Speaking of which, we do have some Dovetail news. The May Madness sale is currently on. So a lot of TSW add-ons on Steam are on sale. Steam only, not Epic or console, unfortunately. But a lot of stuff is on sale, including some new, including the Expert BR145 in New York Stamford, which I wasn't expecting to go on sale this early. I was thinking that they would wait a while before discounting those, but maybe they didn't sell as well as they thought? I don't know. But, yeah. If you're wondering, Medway Valley is not currently on sale, unfortunately. Neither is the other add-on that I want, the Avanti Class 805. I've been waiting for that to go on sale ever since it released, but no, I have to wait until I can get that. Ugh. Birmingham to Crewe is also on sale as well. It's already been discounted on Xbox, but now it's on sale on PC, on Steam. So, I'm not going to pick up Birmingham Crewe. I'm waiting until I get to Class 805 and for Birmingham to Crewe to go on a bigger discount, because honestly, I think that Birmingham to Crewe, ever since its launch, has suffered from performance issues, and I think we need it to be far more discounted before it releases. Is there anything in the sidings here? There's a shed. DSD. So yeah, there's the other doubleheader 66 with some HOA wagons from Caltrain Volume 2, I believe. So yeah, I also downloaded a new mod since we last saw each other. Well, not technically a new mod, but yeah, it's been a while since I've been doing it. Ooh, there's a hot air balloon. He does too often, unless it's the summer months on this route, because they also vary depending on the month's time of year, I mean. Trying to adjust the camera because I can't recenter it manually for some reason. Oh boy, let's actually slow down. We got Maidstone Barracks coming up. And then we got Maidstone West, like, basically, like, really soon after that, too, so let's get that speed down. Electrostars are pretty good at braking, though, so come on, adjust. I haven't had this bug before where I can't recenter the camera. Like, it's not letting me for some reason.
We will shortly be arriving at Maidstone Barracks.
So yeah, I think I'll be making quite a few more videos on Medway Valley, because I think it is an excellent route. Despite the lack of new stock, I think it's an absolutely excellent route. Ooh.
Tonbridge. This train has...
I almost aimed for the 4-car stop marker instead of the instead of the 2 to 3 car stop. Yeah. I love all the vegetation detail, these pretty decent looking vines, all the vegetation. There hasn't been any like scenery defects that I've come across in my time playing this line, which is very nice. So yeah, if we have a look, we're about halfway down. So you get Southeastern Main Line. We also get a little bit of High Speed 1 crossing the Medway. Then there's also the Southeastern Main Line too. So it's quite a decent variety of stuff on this route. Are you a stroke 6? You are stroke 6. Very nice. Don't see those too often on this line. Mostly they do the Rochester-Rainham from Victoria service. They don't too often come down Medway Valley. Only really at peak times. It's mostly the stroke 3s that run the services. So yeah, it looks as though we have a 30 clear signals into Maidstone West. We just have a 30 limit coming into the platform. So yeah, I would recommend closing the doors 20 seconds before you're due to leave. Next stop, Maidstone West. I might try getting up out of my seat at Maidstone West just to see if that fixes the camera issue. Because, yeah, I haven't encountered it before. It's ironic that it only shows up when I'm recording. But that's just the way it is. I think my only complaint with the 375 is it's just has such little visibility out the front. Like, when you compare it to something like the Class 700, which has acres of visibility. Like, it's a pretty clear contrast. Right, 30 limit coming into force.
We will shortly be arriving at Maidstone West.
Oh yeah, I love those announcements. Look at that instrument lighting. Yeah, and this thing, instrument lights are on all the time and you don't have to turn them on manually. So yeah. Oh, that's the 2 to 3 car stop mark. I think we're gonna, yeah.
Tonbridge.
Basically nail it. Nice. Right, let's see if getting up out of my seat fixes the issue. No, it doesn't. Awesome. Oh, let's actually... So yeah, basically for a lot of the features of the 375 to work, you need to be in expert mode. So you need to go into settings. I think it might be player assist, and then you have to set expert mode to on. And then restart the run if you're already in one. So yeah, if we have a look just over here... This little spur of track is not connected to anything. This is where that little hopper wagon spawns if you've got the mastery layer unlocked. But unfortunately, I do not. Also another thing which is a bit annoying about this route is you can't go into signal boxes, but... Yeah. Okay, so... Yeah, I've now got the camera recentered to the appropriate position. I just really do like this route. Like, I'm not a fan of British, like, third rail routes in general, but East Coastway Remastered was a lot of fun when that originally came out, and then when I got that and then the remaster came out, I had a lot of fun driving the 313 especially. And then this. Like, it's really made me come around to liking the third rail stuff in this game. Next stop, East Farley in 1.5 miles. We got a 30 limit leaving Maidstone West. Then it goes up to a 45 and then a 70. Also, if you... Now, speaking of which, I just got reminded for some reason of PTG Rail, who makes route learning videos. He recently came back after being absent from YouTube for almost for well over 3.5 years, which is pretty incredible. But he recently came back as has been making Trains of the World route learning videos. Manchester Airport Commuter, West Coast Main Line South, Goblin Line, and Bremen Oldenburg. So I'm personally hoping that he does Medway Valley, because it sounds like an add-on that's right up his street since he likes realism, so we'll see. Up to 70 miles an hour. For your freight train, we'd actually be limited to 45, which is, that's quite a low limit on the freight, I must say. Maybe it's because of the tight curves this route has. Green signal. Let's check frame rate counter. Basically 60 FPS. I love how well optimized this route is. Dovetail needs to take notes, honestly, on how well optimized this route is. This has definitely gotten into my top 4. Like, above this would be Great Western Express Remastered, what would it be? Preston to West Coast Mainline, Preston to Carlisle, and Liberec Starapaka, which is pretty ironic considering Liberec Starapaka has so many assets that it's genuinely pushing the boundaries of the game, and like even people with high-end systems are struggling with that route. Notch 2 on the brakes. Coming up on East Farley. I do like doing a local run on this line, but it also doesn't take that long to do like a freight run. I've also installed a mod which I'm hoping is working, the Class 66 Megapack by SprattyHeath, which has a ton of new headlight configurations and liveries for the way too overused Class 66, which I'm hoping fixes the issue of just me seeing DB and EWS ones, not ones, DB, EWS, DRS, and Ocean Network Express Class 66 all the time. Yeah. Alright. 1 minute here at East Farley. Yeah. Also, since we last saw each other, the Great British Railways Class 802 has come out. Oh my, what a pile of junk. I do refer you to Train Sim Society's review on that pile of garbage. Yeah, I made a whole rant video about it as well, so go watch that too if you haven't already. Where I think I might have gone like just a bit too mad with just frustration, but yeah. And since I made that video, oh, whoops, no, just put it, I think I forgot to put it in neutral. Whoops, next stop Waterbury in 3 miles. Here we go. Yeah, the Class 802, since it came out, people have discovered that the livery, the GBR livery is very low resolution for some reason, almost as if it was ripped straight off the Creators Club. And to top that, some of the scenarios that come with it are broken. Anyway, I should probably stop thinking about that and just take in Medway, because oh my goodness. Yeah, I just need a good route in my life. That's the Medway on our left, I think. It's 50 miles an hour. We are limited to 55 at the moment. So yeah, what have we got left? Waterbury, Yalding. Yeah, I think it's what is it? Waterbury, Yalding, Beltring, Paddock Wood, Tonbridge. And then we're straight on to, yeah, and then that's it. I do like running on the Medway because it's a lot more visually interesting than the East Coast Way. And it's just pretty peaceful. Like, there's quite a few routes in this game where it's just frenetic action. It's just trains all the time. I'm looking for, like, particularly on routes like the Brighton Main Line, where it's just, or Frankfurt S-Bahn, where it's just traffic all the time. This route is a lot quieter. It's not as quiet as, this route is probably not as quiet as, like, say, Island Line 2022, but it's pretty quiet, and it's, yeah, it's pretty, it's a pretty likable route. And also you get to spam the horn quite a bit because of, because you're going across a lot of ungated level crossings. There are also sheep, animated sheep, at points along the line. I think we'll encounter some when we get to Beltring, but we'll see. Nice hot air balloon hovering there. I just love how well this route performs. It's just been optimized so well. Speaking of well optimized, though, there's a new game on Steam, which has just had its release date announced, single yellow, which has the train simulation community just jaws dropping off in unison. It's called Running Train, and it's made by a solo developer from Japan, and it's a fictional 40-kilometer. It features a fictional 40-kilometer long route, in Japan. Not entirely sure where it's set, but yeah, it's in Unreal Engine 5, and it's been done so well it looks like real life. Like, genuinely, if you put the Tadami line, the upcoming Tadami line by Union Workshop in this game, and Running Train side by side, like, it's night and day. It's incredible. But yeah, I'm not gonna get it. I'm going to save money for Tadami. Stop a bit early because I do not want to overrun that red signal. And turn on the DRA. Let's watch the barriers go down, why don't we? Also, I believe there are new ambient sounds. That dove call was certainly not in the game before. It's very cool. And we also have like this little place here with this very large crane and a lot of caravans. Anyway. Oh, I forgot to put it in neutral. There we go. Yeah. Oh. Have to reset the DRA first. Next up, Yolding in 1.5 miles. Yeah, the acceleration on the 375 is pretty gentle. You can basically do notch 4 starts with no issues, but if you are in rain, you do have to be careful about going into notch 4. Otherwise, you might get wheel slip.
The next station is Yolding.
The next station after Yolding will be Beltring, and there's actually, a special announcement for Beltring that the PA does, which is that the Beltring platform's pretty narrow, and for passengers to watch their step, which is pretty cool that they've included that, and that is a real-life announcement too. I just love this route. I can't believe I didn't get it at launch, and I feel like I've been missing out on just a absolutely superb route. Ooh boy, that's our first bit of speeding. Slow down, buddy. I believe AI horns are also a thing, but unless you're doing like guard mode or something, that won't be very noticeable. Excuse me. So yeah, the Stroke 6 version actually has the capability to also go overhead pantograph as well. Oh boy, I now need to put the camera back. There we go. That'll do. Do have a 30 limit approaching Yolding, which I suppose. There's also a special sign at Yolding warning of level crossing. So it's like a flashing white signal. It's very German, like rural Germany. For example, Niedertalbahn by trains in Germany, that has like a flashing white light to show the driver that the level crossing's down. But this route also has something very similar at Yolding. It's just at Yolding, not at any of the other level crossings. It's very interesting indeed. Wow, freight has to go down to 20 miles an hour? My goodness. So yeah, we also have that X mark to show that we have a weird level crossing coming up. At least yeah, it's definitely interesting. Maybe because there are more level crossing accidents at this station? Yeah, you can see the flashing white light there. Not going to zoom in because then I'll have to... Actually, yeah, I'll zoom in. Yeah, there's the flashing white light showing that the crossing is down. Alright, there's the... Yeah. Yeah, the crossing is down. Alright, let's actually just reset the camera real quick. There we go. Yeah. Oh, I think it might be because there's no barrier on this side of the road, so cars could do try to do a cheeky and then zigzag through the signal past the barriers. That is a problem in the UK because often at a lot of level crossings they don't have barriers which go down across the full length of the road, and some drivers think, oh, I'll just try and skip the level crossing and then zoom straight across the tracks before the train gets there because they think they're in a hurry and they think that they have a right to own the road. And why should a petty train stop them? Sorry, but if that's you, if you drive that, then you should probably seek... No, I'm not going to say that. Next stop, Beltring in 1.5 miles. Which is our last stop before Paddockwood and the end of the Medway Valley line, and we go on to the Southeastern main line. At Beltring we should also see the animated sheep as well. There's sheep fields on both sides of the track. So yeah, as I was saying though, Britain does have a problem where the level crossing barriers... Oh, listen.
The next station is Beltring.
Oh, it didn't say. But yeah, basic drivers try to bypass the level crossing barriers. In Japan, you can't do that because, well, you just hit barrier because they take the sensible precaution of putting barriers across both sides of the road rather than just one. But yeah, that'd be a sensible thing to do to stop these stupid drivers trying to zoom through level crossings. Anyway, I should probably stop ranting. .62 miles an hour. Last crossing of the Medway, which is this bridge right here. Very nice. Honestly, I should probably get a shot with that bridge, shouldn't I? Yeah, we haven't got too much of the scenic part of the route. I should probably have done a shot earlier since we didn't do like too much of the scenic part of the route, but hey ho. Take 2 just in case. There we go. Do like that bridge. Right, let's slow down for Beltring. Let's listen for that announcement.
We will shortly be arriving at Beltring. Would customers please take care when alighting the train? This station has a narrow platform.
There we go. There is the narrow platform announcement, ladies and gentlemen. Only this station has that announcement in the entirety of Train Sim World. Very cool. It's also a very short platform as well, so I'm going to have to get this stop absolutely right if I don't want to overrun. Let's just find that S stop marker. We are running pretty much on time. Let's have a look for... Yeah, there they are. Look at that. Hello, little guy. Considering... Yeah. This is a pretty... I know they're pretty janky animations. They're not very realistic, but hey-ho. This isn't Goat Simulator. I say that, and I realize that goats and sheep aren't the same thing. That's pretty funny. But, yeah. They're a thing. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I just opened the doors by accident. going to be here all day waiting for the doors to close again. I'm probably going to be late to Paddock Wood. That's annoying. There we go. Next stop, Paddock Wood, 1.5 miles, and remember, this is where most services from Shrewd terminate during the off-peak times. Just because we're pretty much the last of the peak service, we're going through services, we're going all the way through to Tonbridge.
Speak to a member of staff or text us on 61016 and we'll get it sorted. That's
61016.
See it, say it, sorted.
Oh my gosh. They're playing See It, Say It, Sorted almost as much as their real-life counterparts, which is pretty realistic, I suppose. See It, Say It, Sorted drives me insane. But it is realistic, so I'm glad they've included it. It's just pretty funny, that's all. What is that? What are you? You're another 375. I thought briefly it was a Class 08 for some reason. And I was like, what's a Class 08 doing up here? It doesn't even get any services. But no, it was a 375, just playing tricks on me. So yeah. At Paddock, just before Paddock Wood, will be, when that 25 limit comes into force, we'll be transferring onto the Southeastern main line as the Medway Valley line is coming to an end. Love how often you get to blast the horn along this line. Very nice. Slow down for that 35 limit. I believe there's a DHL facility at Paddock Wood as well. Speaking of which, boom. I have to get up and then get back in. For goodness sake. Oh, yeah. Slow down a bit early. Yeah, anytime I zoom in, I can't remember. I keep not remembering that my camera isn't centering anymore. So anytime I look around, I mess up the camera position. So yeah, we're basically, there's a little side yard here, there's Paddock Wood, there's the Southeastern main line. Yeah. I honestly, given how beautiful this route is in game, I honestly want to come here in real life because this looks really nice. Who knows? I'm in the London area, I might as well. It's comparatively not too far away. Paddock Wood platform 2. So yeah, there's quite a few services where you take the 375/6 just between Tonbridge and Paddock Wood. It's like a short service, you know. How much time do we have at Paddock Wood? 1 minute, so I think even if we arrive slightly late, I think we can make up the time. Yeah, I can't see the stop marker because it's on the wrong side of the train now. There we go. Close enough. And get the DRA on. Are there any trains coming from... Yeah.
Welcome aboard this Southeastern
Any trains coming from Tonbridge which are getting in the way? I bet you there are. No, never mind. Oh, there is one. The Charing Cross to Dover Priory. Which might get in the way. Who knows? Shut the door. So yeah, we basically... Yeah, this is a pretty short section of the Southeastern main line, but it's basically dead straight. So this is as close to the 90 mile an hour... 90 mile an hour? 100 mile an hour top speed of the 375, which you get to in Train Sim World. Next stop, Tonbridge in 5 miles. It's basically straight. Oh. Do we set the DRA? Full speed ahead. Tonbridge is, of course, the last stop, but it is where a lot of the freight services do originate as well. A lot of freight services originate at Tonbridge, which I'm glad they... Dovetail Games have probably just done Shrewd to Paddock Wood and then called it a day. If they were making Medway Valley, so I'm glad that what's their name? Firefly included these extra bits of the Southeastern and Chatham main lines to give us just a little bit of extra, like, it makes the route non-linear, which is nice. Right, we're clear up to 100, but it's a constant upward incline all the way to Tonbridge. If you're coming from Tonbridge toward Paddock Wood, you can cruise at 100 miles an hour for like a few seconds before you have to slam on the brakes for Paddock Wood. And judging from real-life footage that I've seen of this area, thanks to Chucky Transport, I actually am I think the scenery in this area is pretty much spot on, it seems. Alright, speed and power. Have I got the map zoomed out? Yeah, I do. So we should have I think it's mainly the 375/6s which ply up and down this line. But yeah, in a nutshell, do I think that this route is a worthy successor to Southeastern High Speed? Yeah, I think it is, because yeah, I loved the heck out of Southeastern High Speed, and it's basically like the first route that I really played a lot of in Train Sim World. It's basically like the Southeastern High Speed was my introduction to the game franchise as a whole. But yeah, I think Medway has finally shown that Southeastern High Speed is a bit outdated, shall we say. That's 73 miles an hour. There's the service to Dover Priory. 3.3 miles to go. How's performance doing? Still basically 60 frames. That's awesome. Oh yeah, we are flying along. Yeah. The service we're doing now is like basically the last or second to last morning peak service that goes all the way through to Tonbridge. That is 80 miles an hour. Do have to go quite rapidly down to 40, so yeah, we'll see how much longer we can keep this up. Double yellow. We are flying. Yeah. Would you... I'm probably going to cut back in guard mode for the first time in years. For the first time in ages. It hasn't been a year. But yeah, I'm going to probably... yeah, do guard mode services in 375 thanks to the CCTV. 1.4 miles to go, and we have a red signal before Tonbridge. Uh-oh. That might just be an approach control signal though, so we might be fine. We will see. Keep it notch 3. I know you're not generally supposed to do this, but yeah, I think I left the braking a bit too late. There's the 90 limit. There's 40.9 miles to go. So yeah, the route does continue beyond Tonbridge a little bit into Tonbridge West, where there's a decent amount of stock. But yeah, we're almost at the end of the route here. Start slowing down for that red signal up there. Yeah, this route is just so nice to drive. It's just a welcome break from Great Western Express, which I've also been playing a lot of, because that route is very frenetic with the huge amount of services, and trains just constantly going around. This route makes for a very nice change of pace, I gotta say. So yeah, this thing over here on the left is called the Training Center for some reason. And yeah, it doesn't have tracks which are connected to anything else. And it's not like the training center in Train Sim World. I believe it's an actual place where they train.
We will shortly be arriving at
reset the camera because I looked to the side.
when leaving
Let's
the
get up to
train.
25.
Keep them with you at all times whilst on the station. If you see anything suspicious, please report it to a member of staff or the police.
Yeah. So we got terminate. This train is terminates here. That's a. I believe that's another new announcement on this route. So we're coming in at platform 1, one of the bay platforms on the south side of the station here. Yeah. So how long are we here? Start slowing down. Yeah, we're arriving 30 seconds early because I'm that good at driving a virtual train. Slight overshoot, but we're good. I'll show you. So here's Tonbridge. Here's Tonbridge West Yard, just over here. Any special? Any? Oh, here's the GB Rail Freight building. Got a 66 in the building. Unfortunately, none of the Class 66 Megapack liveries seem to have spawned. Ugh. Anyway. Just wait for the doors to close themselves. Hello?
Platform 2 for the...
We also have... Why aren't you working? I think it might be because we arrived too early. I'll wait until 8:58 until,
8.
Come on, just let me finish this service.
Southeastern.
Right, if we lock doors now, it should work. Let's hope. Waiting for the guard door to close. Just see a service coming in the background there. There we go. It's because I hadn't... yeah. We only lost 32.5 points to speeding. We got platinum medal. Drove 26.5 miles and walked 350 yards. So yeah. That'll be all for this video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like the videos, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell to make sure you don't miss any more videos. And if you can afford it, please do become a channel member, which grants you access to exclusive videos, emojis, and things like that. It really does. If you could go the extra mile, that would be appreciated. And I'll see you all the next one. Goodbye.